It's not hard to see that bringing a trail into a community changes that community.
We're seeing people reconnect with the riverfronts in the ways that they haven't done in probably 100 years, and then also capitalizing on the river recreation tourism that they can also have.
In the past, we had steel, we had ceramics, we had coal. We had to reinvent ourselves, and tourism is one industry that we should really be examining. Our vision is to make Lisbon a tourism destination building upon the Greenway Trail.
I often hear people talking about seeing Pittsburgh from the river and what a different, unique perspective that gives them. So if we're able to utilize a trail system in a tourism perspective and bring that business and bring those residents to a community, that really is a golden moment that I think that we all really need to embrace.
The Three Rivers Heritage Trail system has seen an increased usage of tourism over the years, especially with the expansion of us connecting into larger regional trail systems like the Great Allegheny Passage, like the Erie to Pittsburgh, like the Industrial Heartlands, like the Great American Rail Trail.
Well, right now we have a 300-mile continuous trail, and I can only imagine what it would mean if that was extended to 1,500 miles. We already see people from all over the world coming here to experience this trail.
If we bring more people in and those people spend more money, inevitably that's going to create jobs, and that's going to boost our tax revenue, helping us to improve public services.
Whereas maybe tourism comes and goes, it ebbs and flows with the season and with the broader economy, with pandemics and all kinds of stuff that could happen. I think one of the biggest long-term impacts is that good, stable, ongoing property value, taxes that will continue to support a county and a city.
The excitement the trail brings to the city is just driving people to the city and being able to show what we have to offer here, and obviously bringing the city back to prosperity.
We recognize that trails are truly an economic driver, and they're critically important. They can bring people into a business community or an industrial park to think about relocating their business there. They can also be utilized for residential communities.
Economic development is what sort of spawned the trail system in Pittsburgh as well as the Great Allegheny Passage, and it's coming to fruition now after all these years, and businesses like mine can easily survive and exist around a trail system like this.
So the idea is once this trail is completed from the Ashtabula down to East Liverpool, I just expect an even greater influx of people coming to Lisbon, which is great for our businesses and for the downtown.
Outdoor recreation to me is a magnet, and it is a magnet for experiences that span a lifetime, and that's what a trail system can do.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Camp of Cycle Forward, and it's my pleasure to introduce Nemanic, who is the Executive Director of Go Laurel Highlands, and Melinda Huntley, who is the Executive Director of the Ohio Travel Association. I know that we're all eager to hear from two of our most respected tourism professionals in the region, and so let's just jump right in. Melinda, I once heard you say, people will come where they've been invited, made to feel welcome, and they are asked to return. What are a few tangible things that trail communities can do to get visiting trail users into town?
Thank you, Amy, and welcome everyone. I'm happy to be here. You know what, I think I heard Ann say this in the video about the experience. And I want you to kind of think about trails as almost a linear attraction. Understanding it's not just about a transportation route, but the entire experience of a trail is essential, which means it's about getting people to your community, but we also have to recognize that each piece is only as strong as all the parts. So each community needs to be able to, really be engaged with that trail. So if I were to say, what could be done, work with the other communities on the trail, because a visitor is going to be attracted by a more unified story, unified approach, and they're going to have the expectation that the experience along this linear somewhat attraction is they're going to be evaluating that as a whole, not just necessarily in individual parts.
Oh, that's wonderful. So there's a mindset shift there on the part of communities. And what would you add?
give a couple specifics, Amy, if I could. I love flowers. You know, it could be as simple as planting a beautiful flower bed as an entrance into your city or your community with a nice welcome sign. I know one community along the Great Allegheny Passage actually has individuals during the summertime that dressed up in period costume and they're bell ringers. And they do that because there's a bridge that connects over to their community. And in order to get them into town, it's a way for them to kind of have something a little unusual, a way to greet them and a way to welcome them into their own community. And I really do agree that education is key. Hold an educational session. Let people know exactly what's going on, even as the trail's being built, so they can feel that they are part of the process. And then when everything is pulled together and all those connections are made, then they are a true cheerleader for what it is that you want to promote.
Yeah, great. Good advice. So this next question is specific to how we accommodate cyclists. Some research suggests that most people are looking for casual trail experiences. You might consider it to be soft adventure. How do you reconcile this with knowing that those who do multi-day rides are responsible for a disproportionate amount of spending? Where do we place our energy?
I can start with that one. It's such a great question, and I'm so glad that you asked it. I think we have to remember that research shows what is, not what is possible, right? So it shows us what is, what not necessarily what is possible. Multi-day rides include overnights, and so that's why there's increased spending. We know that when someone spends a night, they're in the communities longer, plus they have that overnight stay. And we also know that many casual users are, really nearby trail users. So I think we need to look at this less as, the soft adventure versus the hard adventure, and really focus in on, what are your goals for reaching people maybe 50 miles or more away? Because I'm going to go out I'm going to say that casual users that may come from 50 miles away or more really probably spend more time and more money in your local shops, your restaurants, your breweries, than maybe that avid multi-day user who is there for the ride itself. I know I'm a casual user. My dad's an avid. I stop at every, store or, community along the way. He's there for that trail experience. Yeah. I think one of the things that we really need to think about doing and advice for using energy is, can we start creating packaged trail experiences for some of these casual users? They want the adventure. We need to make it easy for them. And can we link it to lodging? Can we link it to some of the different attractions? And understanding the casual travelers and their needs. So how are they going to get their bikes from point A to back to their car? Or how are they going to ship packages? There are so many possibilities with developing packages for this market that I'm super excited about it. And I think we can have more conversations.
Yeah, great. And what would you add to that?
It's pretty simple, Amy. My answer is money is money. I've operated in travel and tourism for over 30 years, and it really didn't matter where that $20 bill was coming from. You have to realize the importance, I think, of the locals, because they are the ones that help to spread the word. Your day trippers, as we have said, spend a lot more money. And they will frequent the trail a lot more, perhaps, than just your through riders that are there just to get from one point to the other point very, very quickly. So your local folks and your local residents and your day trippers, they're your social butterflies. They're the ones that are going to help you promote your trail.
Great. Okay, so we have about a minute left. So I wanted to introduce some tough love to this conversation. What can community advocates and trail advocates do to be better tourism partners?
My answer is easy. You share the wealth. I think in order for a trail system to be successful, everyone needs to work together and they need to share in that success. If one community doesn't have something, maybe the next one does. If they all have coffee shops, how are they connecting that use of coffee in each of their own communities? And again, I go back to education is key. You absolutely have to make sure everyone is listening and a part of the process.
Yeah, good. Melinda, you get the final word here.
So first of all, I would say remove the tough from the tough love. It is about love. It is about how do we work together. And I love how Ann said, educate. I also said, listen, right? So it's about collaboration and work with local CVBs and DMOs. And then how do we listen to one another? How do we meet each other and have common goals? And it is truly about loving our communities, loving what we do.